Proposes to amend the state constitution to allow customers to choose which company they buy electricity from.
But question 3, also known as energy choice, is also one of the most confusing issues in this election. The Politics Now team has been interviewing people on both sides of the aisle in the run-up to the November election. And co-host Steve Sebelius sat down today with 2 people in favor of that measure. Steve?
Well, Brian and Christiane, Pat Wood and Nora Brownell know about switching from a monopoly electricity provider to an open market. Both of the former Federal Energy Regulatory Commissioners worked on restructuring electricity markets while serving on the Public Utilities Commission in their home states of Texas and Pennsylvania, before former President George W. Bush named them both to the federal panel. According to Wood and Brownell, both of whom support question 3, the advantages are clear.
First and foremost, it's all about the economics. It's all about the consumer. Right now, in a monopoly model, the consumer is expected to take all of the risks with none of the benefits of choice. In Pennsylvania, we were able to reduce costs. We were a high-cost state. We were able to provide a plethora of opportunities for people to choose green power, to choose different kinds of rate models. We got huge investments in new technologies, in new kinds of generation, again, and the ratepayers weren't stuck with the ultimate bill, and they had options.
Brownell argues that companies such as NV Energy decide whether to build power plants or buy power on the open market, and consumers have virtually no input or control into that process. A customer who wants to power her home with 100% green energy doesn't have that option now, she says. But opponents of question 3 point to NV Energy's push toward new solar energy projects, and the early closure of coal-fired power plants is proof the company is moving toward cleaner power. They also note that the current average prices in Nevada beat almost every state that has switched to the open market, with the exception of Texas. Opponents of energy choice say large green energy projects are less likely in a restructured market because choice means companies can't plan for a reliable customer base, which makes investments riskier. But Brownell said green energy projects sprouted in Pennsylvania after the state switched to an open market simply because customers demanded greener choices. And while opponents of energy choice warn that Nevada's constitutional amendment would lock the state into an open market, Wood says the state can use the experience of other open market states as a guide.
And again, it's not like Nevada would be the first state to do this. Yeah. There's a lot of precedent. Some of it's good, some of it are lessons that you don't want to repeat, like some of the lessons we learned from New England in their customer protection setup, for example. So, you know, it's a constant iterative process, but it's one that, again, yields good economic benefits for your customers, big and small.
Now, voters approved energy choice in 2016 by a vote of 72% to 28%, although there was virtually no campaign against it that year. This time around, NV Energy and a coalition of opponents are waging a high-profile campaign, warning of higher prices and the loss of some consumer protections. If it's approved again in November, the Nevada legislature would have until 2023 to craft laws to implement the policy. Well, we'll have more with former Commissioners Wood and Brownell on Politics Now at 4:30 p.m. Saturday, and you'll be able to see the entire interview, including Texas's consumer-friendly website and the process that eased Pennsylvania's transition from monopoly to open market, on our website following that broadcast. That's LasVegasNow.com. Look for the political news link under the News tab.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.